How you doing, Bret?
So,
We're here with Bret Vidrine. Bret, where are you from?
Alexandria.
Alexandria.
Louisiana.
What made you want to move to Lafayette?
I was at Northwestern, going to school there. Been there about 3.5 years. Oh yeah, I picked it out of a hat. I was gonna either stay at Northwestern, go to LSU. My dad calls me, he's like, you should go to UL in Lafayette. Never even hardly been here. Put it in the hat for kicks, and 2 weeks later I'm living here. It's been about 11 years now.
How do you like it here?
I love it here. Good place.
What's your favorite thing about Lafayette?
The people, the culture. I mean, I've seen a lot of places, and everybody's proud of where they're from. But I mean, 2 days on the road, I'm usually homesick for Lafayette. This is a different place.
So you were at 318, and now you're at 337.
Growing up.
That's kind of funny.
That is true.
Question: when was the first time you ever started playing guitar?
I think the summer before I was a freshman in high school, or maybe the summer before 8th grade.
What made you want to start playing guitar?
I don't know. You know, let's see. I remember I've always wanted. I mean, who doesn't want to play guitar? I mean, but I knew as a kid I was destined for something. Probably musically. You know, I'd sit, play the drums. You know, against everything in the house, and all my friends had guitars, and it's funny. Like all their parents would force them to play, yet no one wanted to do it. I'm just sitting there the whole time, like, dude, I wish somebody forced me to play that thing. You know, so I got it out of spite mostly, and learn how to play, you know.
How do parents feel about it?
Oh, they love it. I mean,
They're very supportive.
They've always been encouraging. I mean,
Okay.
supportive.
Which I'm seeing a lot more now, for some reason. I'm seeing a lot more parents be very supportive of the musician scene, and you know, because they like live music too, and I guess they see it's a positive stimulation for their child or anything. I guess they're seeing them actually not play video games for once, and
That's less video games.
nothing against video games. I don't want that. I don't want the nerd committee on me.
True.
But because I'm the biggest nerd amongst them all, I promise. But I guess what I'm saying is there's a reason people start picking up an instrument. Clearly, there's a reason you did. Do you have any idea why? Nervous energy, just because you wanted to hear something different, or you heard something on the radio and you said, you know what, I'm going to play along with that, and then, you know, I wonder if I can do it.
I had something to say, I guess. Like, you know, I mean, of course, all the above, I guess. I mean, I always was quick to pick something up. I could learn something pretty easily. Which, I mean, guitar wasn't too difficult. I mean, compared to some of the stories I've heard. But I mean, like, I guess like anybody else, I had something to say too, and I thought everybody, and if they can do it, I could do it. And
Well, you clearly have a lot more to say and a lot more thoughts than a lot of other things I've heard. So,
hopefully that's good.
yeah, no, it's not a bad thing. I mean, you not only play guitar, you write a really amazing song. You are also a songwriter, and you just so happen to be one of the few people that can actually sing their song and make it sound even better. So, I have to ask you, what is your favorite song that you have written? For people, because these people might not know anything about Bret Vidrine.
Yeah.
And they're about to.
Probably. You know, it's funny, my most recent, probably. I mean, and this is it's a joke, because every song, right when I write it, you can ask my friends, as soon as I write, that's the next hit, you know, and we kind of joke about it. I mean, but after, I mean, just the whole fact that you're creating something out of nothing. And I mean, I love every song the same, and I'll probably play it 100 times before I move on and write the next, you know, but usually it's whatever song I just wrote is probably my favorite. If that makes any sense.
Well, everyone I've heard so far is good.
Thank you.
And we're going to definitely play more music during this guitar talk, because I want people to meet you and hear some of these songs, because I think they need to.
Bret Vidrine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is pretty much the whole reason I wanted to start Guitar Talk, because I go to these places, I go to all these various events in people's homes, and there's always a situation where someone pulls out an instrument. Sometimes not a positive thing. No, sometimes it is a very positive thing. So, you know, that happened Sunday of last week, and it happened with you, and I said, we've got to do a Guitar Talk, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, that was over at Barry's
Yeah.
party. Good time.
And, you know, I've heard you play with a band. I've heard you play on a couple of different occasions, and I have to say, nothing, you know, I remember it. I know you're good. But playing one-on-one with you and a guitar, you're a lot better, in my opinion. Because they get to hear that song before the band. And it's nothing against bands. It's just, they get to meet you. And I want them to meet you. And that's specifically what we're doing here today.
All right.
I want you to play that first song that you had in your mind, that you just finished writing.
The last one I wrote, it was Smelling Like a Rose, that's what it's called, yeah. Actually, the funny thing is it's not really finished. I just kind of fake it, but this is the one I'm working on right now. It's the most recent. Like a seed was planted so many years ago, this spring my rings turned 50 years old. A little rain and sunlight, it helped me grow strong. And you'll see a good man if you look past my thorns. Now I've seen times that were rough, brought with great thunder. Trouble would find me wherever I'd wander. Well, I'm here, the Lord only knows. You try to knock me down, I come to smell like a rose. Smell like a rose, riding high on time. These bars can't hold me when it's my turn to shine. You can pick all my flowers, but the seasons I grow. You try to knock me down, I come to smell like a rose. Like a seed you planted so many years ago, the spring my rings turned 50 years old. Little rain and sunlight helped me grow strong. You'll see a good man if you look past my thorn. Smell like a rose, run high on time. These bars can't hold me when it's my turn to shine. You can pick all my flowers, the the seasons have grown. You try to knock me down, I come smell like a rose. You try to knock me down, I come smell like a rose. Something like that.
Pretty good, man. What made you? What was the inspiration for that song? I gotta know.
I'm not sure if I should say. Let's say I got in a little trouble recently. Wasn't my fault.
Which some
Nothing to
musicians
do
kind
with
of
it,
do.
man. Huh?
With some people do that. Musicians usually tend to get in
Got in a
a
little
lot more fun of trouble though.
Got in a little bit of trouble. It's funny, my dad always said growing up, because he didn't understand how I've barely gotten out of trouble so many times. He goes, you could fall in a pile of shit and come out smelling like a rose. And again, it just happened again. I swear, I mean, of course, I was innocent, but I got in some trouble. I got out a lot better than I should have, I guess you could say. So I started thinking about that. You know, you try to bring me down, come up smelling like a rose. But I guess that's it's just that's how I remember it.
Well, it's definitely a way to make something negative into a positive for sure.
Yeah. It was also, I was thinking, I worked for Sammy Kershaw. I'm one of his writers. And it was also, I was thinking, that was my story behind it, but I was thinking maybe he's getting up, he's getting on the ladder of his career. I'm sure his career is good. He's had a long, great career. It's going to keep on going. But in a way, I thought maybe that could be like a song for him, He ain't going nowhere, you try to bring him down, come to smelling like a rose. And so we're waiting to see what they say about that. But
Well, I can tell you right now, that's a good song,
well, thank you.
without a doubt. And
Whenever I finish it, I'll be sure to
I'm
sing the rest.
I'm pretty sure it's finished.
I need the reverse, but we'll see.
That's an amazing thing about musicians. They will write 1,000 songs, and only one is ready.
Yeah. We're our worst critics, man. I mean,
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons I'm bringing Maddie in, because she's 8 years old, and I want her to hear some of this stuff, and just to make y'all understand that, if an 8-year-old loves it, you should love it too.
mm-hmm.
So, because a lot of this stuff, imagine how many times, like imagine, I mean, and I know Johnny Cash is a big deal, but imagine how many times Johnny Cash had a thought in his head to write a song and maybe didn't do it because he thought it wasn't perfect.
Oh, yeah, that happens all the time.
Well,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Usually, I write my best songs. You'll never heard them. I write them when I'm at work, when I can't take time off to write anything down. I mean, I come up with things all the time, and God, I mean.
Well, right now, there seems to be a lot of emphasis on songwriting.
There is.
I know yesterday night we put out something for Tipitina's that they had David Egan, Brother Deej, they call him, and Joanna Devine doing something at the ACA. And, there's also something else going on that people I don't think know about. Something with Mike Shepard with the Louisiana Hall of Fame of Music is doing something too, where they're trying to, their whole thing is, the majority of #1 hits were written on a napkin in 5 minutes. Let's get a bunch of guys together and see what we can do. And that's kind of their whole philosophy on it. And it's true, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think if you go to a coffee shop and you just randomly ask people questions and you put that on a napkin, you got a hit song. so I'm sure that'll be something, it's a thought.
To be honest with you, yeah. I mean, sometimes I listen to the radio, I think they're just throwing darts at random words, and put them,
Yeah.
I mean, just.
Well, I mean, how do you ever, this Wiggle song, right? The Wiggle song where you shake your butt or something like that. I mean, like, literally. I mean, come on, right?
I didn't write no Wiggle song.
Thank you. That's why you Bret Vidrine.
They're going to think I wrote the Wiggle song.
No, they're not going to think that. Trust me, they know better than that. After hearing that song, that's clearly talent. It clearly is. And you have a bunch of other songs that no one has ever heard, which is,
It's kind of cool, though.
Well, it is cool, but you
It's
know,
like my own little songs for every occasion.
it might be, but it could also be, you know,
I
quite a
want it
big
to be
deal.
everybody else's too. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
that song right there, you know, that's an amazing, to me, that's an amazing country song, in my opinion. And they need that right now, from what I see on the internet. So, I mean, anybody, you know, it's true. I mean, somebody can take that song and sing it, and it doesn't matter what they're doing, because it deals with relationships. It deals with a person's, you know, inner core, thought process, everything. And it just states that,
I mean, I think that's the point. You want the listener, hopefully the listener can feel himself right in everything.
Yeah.
If the song means something to them, they should be able to relate to it in their own way. I mean, that's my whole, that's my therapy. I mean,
that
that's
song
what
you
I
just
do.
played can be put in any scenario, from a political standpoint to all the way down. Like, you could play that as a theme song for a politician coming out of the, you know, about to hit the stage to
Yeah.
tell, that would hype them up like crazy. I mean, that's just crazy to not even think that's possible. So it's true, because everybody's been down where they don't want to be, and that just clearly will bring them back up and make them remember, you know, the whole human race has been down at one point. And, you know, I mean, it's true.
I was having that conversation with my publisher the other day. I mean, you gotta be thick-skinned in this business to be a writer. Because, I mean, the way we're talking about this one song, this is just the most recent one I wrote, and I feel that way about everything. And I mean, we were just joking the other day. I was like, man, every time I write a song, I'm thinking, this is it. This could be a hit song, you know, but you might not be what everybody else thinks. And there's more rejection I find in this business than there is, you know, acceptance. And that's what's tough, but I mean, it just shows you the caliber of songwriters out there too, you know.
Well,
So,
it's definitely helped you, without
I've
a
had to
doubt.
step my game up for sure. You
Yeah,
know, people have known me through the years. I've heard that a few times.
How old are you? Curiosity. I mean, seriously.
32.
Okay. I mean, that's a really strong song. It is. I mean, imagine at 60,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's what the rest of the people should be thinking too, because
I just got here, people. Just wait. Just wait.
yes. Now, one song I'm gonna ask you to play that you probably don't want to play, but they gotta hear that.
The one you said the other night. You were
Yes,
playing?
yes.
That is an old song, man.
What's the name of that song?
That is the Hammer song. God, I can't believe this. I bet you there's gonna be a lot of happy people out there watching this, though. All right, the Hammer song. If you have any kids in here, maybe we'll give them some earmuffs.
It's a rated R kind of
This
song,
is a rated R now.
but it's a good rated R.
It is.
It's kind of like the first time you watched,
A little tongue-in-cheek, kind of.
you know, yeah, there you go.
It's called the Hammer song. Legs for days, long brown hair, all the way down her back. Glassy eyes reflecting my drunken face. Hey girl, let's go out back. Cause I wish I was a hammer, oh, I'd nail you all night long. If I was a power tool, oh, I'd drill you until dawn. You're in good hands with a carpenter's son. Oh, I wish I was a hammer, so I can nail you all night long. If you see In a tree, H or knee. That's horny, in case you didn't catch that. This is true love, you and me. Because I'm shallow as a hammer, oh, I'd nail you all night long. If I was a power tool, I'd drill you until dawn. You're in good hands with a carpenter's son. Oh, I'm shallow as a hammer, so I can nail you all night long. And who would have thought the love at first sight was the top of your head on that hot summer's night? Because I'm shallow as a hammer, oh, I'd nail you all night long. If I was a power tool, oh, I'd drill you until dawn. You're in good hands with a carpenter's son. Oh, I'm shallow as a hammer, so I can nail you all night. I wish I was a hammer, so I can nail you. I nail you all night long. I nail you all night long. I nail you all night long. I nail you all night long, all night long, baby, all night long. You gotta finish it all pretty for him. I nail you all night long. Cannot believe I just played that.
Bret, how was that song make you feel? You still freaked out you played it, I know,
Yeah.
so. That's a good song.
Thank you.
That is a good song, man. I know that there's a lot of people that, you know, it's good to be diverse, I guess you could say, because like the first song, completely different. This one shows you have a little bit of a sense of humor, and don't have a problem having fun.
You notice a lot of my lyrics will be like a double way of looking at them. You can, a lot of times I start on a certain word, be a new line, but that word I started on was also finishing the last line of some verses, and it has to do with that. I do a lot of, I try to use some people go with metaphors, I like play on words. I mean, it's just different ways of writing, I guess.
But it makes it fun, and it makes a person feel like, I wonder what he means by that. And I'm asking that question because there are a lot of people who I feel that I feel like anybody can be creative. They just give up on the fact of whether they want to be. And that's just how it is. I mean, and I think the guy that really feels like he's not creative, he's probably 20 times more creative than anybody in the room. And that's just my honest opinion. Because usually he's the guy that's at a crawfish boil cracking jokes, and he's a good writer if he can crack jokes.
Oh yeah.
So
quick on your toes.
Right. I mean, but yet you ask him to write something, I can't do that. I'm not creative at all. Yeah. But yet it's a way of getting people to understand. Well, I wonder how he came up with that song. What does this guy do every day? And that's another thing I wanted to. I
got where you're coming from now. Yeah, I try to write everything. Every song has a little bit of me in it.
Yeah.
Whether it's just a feeling I've had, and a lot of times it's funny. I'll try to tell people, or say if I'm on a date or meet somebody, I'm like, don't take anything you read. Just I mean, a little bit's about me, but a lot of times, sometimes the words got to rhyme too.
It's from observation too.
Yeah.
Observation and life.
You got to mix it. You got to be able to mix it and it's got to be a little bit about yourself, a little bit. Just
but what's cool about the way you write is it does touch on just about everything. Faith, life, just
Relationships.
problems, hardships, and it makes a person go, you know what, I can relate with that. And that's why I do think that these are pretty good country songs.
That's what I hope for. I just want somebody to be able to relate with them, and help somebody else out. Because if you notice, if you listen to my songs as they've gone on, I mean, they're definitely getting more positive. My life, I'm moving forward in my life, and I'm doing better for myself now. And the songs will show that off. I think, my writing has gotten better over the years. I've gotten older. But yeah, I hope people can relate to everything, because I write just because people told me I couldn't do it. And if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna freaking do it twice as good as you thought, twice as fast. I'm gonna figure that out, and that's really fueled me throughout most of my career. It's just all the negative people around here, the naysayers, or you can sit around and freaking be great as hell. You can be the best damn guitarist in Lafayette, or in the state of Louisiana. But if you ain't true to yourself, or you can't be a good person, you're gonna be sitting your butt right here in town. At the same time, you got to be able to grow with this.
Right. No, I agree completely. And my next question, even though you kind of answered, are you a carpenter's son? Because that is a very, very strong statement in that song.
Yeah.
So what kind does your dad sell?
He works over at Service Chevrolet. Go buy a car from my dad, Bret Vidrine, man.
You see that?
Yeah, you see that?
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and
I mean, hire me to write y'all a theme song, a little jingle.
I love it.
You gotta get in touch with me.
But yeah, so basically, from Alexandria to Lafayette to writing songs.
We're in Nashville.
Talk about that for a second.
That was really my goal. Some people, of course, I want to be famous and everything, but my big goals on the list was freaking make it to Nashville, and I'll be damned, I get to live the best of both worlds. I get to live here and work there. Who else? Not many people can say that, and I'm very lucky. Sammy Kershaw, he didn't have to help me out. He heard me on the radio, didn't know me from Adam, and that shows what kind of person he is. He's a good person. He's helped me out and helped fulfill many goals I've had. I'm this close to getting a hit song. I just gotta freaking write it. I'm getting to write with some of the best writers out there, learning from them, and I think that's cool as hell.
Who are some of the writers that you look up to?
Man, look up to. I think who really got me into songwriting? Ryan with an R, Ryan Adams. He was a Whiskey Town around. That's around the same time I really got into songwriting. He had just broken away from Whiskey Town, I believe, and started doing his own stuff. And I think I read a little article in Rolling Stone how Elton John had helped him out, and heard something. I don't know what persuaded me to listen to it. I went and bought the record and freaking changed my life. And I really credit him. Which our songwriting's really, it's nothing alike, but just I like his music so much, I cover a lot of the songs. I think that's really helped fuel me along, because I kind of saw what he did and I wanted to do the same thing,
Well, get somebody who hasn't heard of Whiskey Town, how would that refresh their memory?
It's like, man, good old, that's some of the original, that's back from like Sunvolt days, Sunvolt and, what was the name of it? It's Uncle Tupelo. That's back in those days, like that alternative country kind of sound. That was between Uncle Tupelo, Whiskey Town. They were pretty much they were paving the way for anything you have now. Any of the folk rock alternative country you actually see. They were some of the first ones to do it. REM. They freaking did. That's where our roots. That's where it really stems from. It's music like that, I've always liked country. I like rock and roll. I'm a Stones guy, and that's kind of music's really, stayed true to my heart this whole time. I listen to all that. I listen to everything. I don't know where this stuff comes from, though. I don't know where it comes from, how I write it, because it doesn't sound like the music I listen to, but it's.
But when you say you listen to everything,
do
you listen to Skrillex?
No.
Okay, I just want to verify that.
I'm sorry, I listen to rock and roll. Pretty much anything except for rap and heavy metal.
Okay.
So.
Nothing against Skrillex, but if I got a visualization of you driving in the truck and then out of nowhere you hear, "Oh my God!" and all of a sudden Skrillex pops in and you bang in your head.
You want to hear a funny story? Funny story. One night I went with my friends in the car and they had been drinking. I was driving them home. I was designated driver. Funniest thing is me, my friend Jessica, and Steve on the right, and I'm in a single cab truck, and Jessica had a little too much to drink. I ain't gonna say any last names. Well, I'm like, roll the passenger window down, roll it down. And so we roll down, and she's like, she has that look on her face, like I'm about to puke. And the moment it hits, she's like, oh God, I gotta move over. So she jumps over Steve, and she's ready to go. And out that same time on K-Ball, my song comes on the radio. And I should be worried about my friend here, you know, where somebody needs to hold her hair or something. But I'm so happy that my song's on the radio. It was the funniest moment in the world. I'm over here going, oh my God, hear that? I'm pointing at the radio, turned up loud. She's doing her thing out the passenger door. And we're going down Johnson Street, the happiest 3 people in Lafayette, well, the happiest person, and 2 unhappy people. Let me phrase that. That's just came to mind right there.
If you can visualize all this, I'm sure everybody's been there except the song on the radio. One thing.
Song, we laugh about today. I should be worried, but I couldn't help it. My song just came on the radio.
One thing I'm going to say is, you know, Coke should think about endorsing you after this. Well, Bret, it's been fun, man.
It's been fun. A lot of fun.
There is a song that I know you're dying to play.
The Wiggle song?
No, not the Wiggle song.
Let's do this.
I still can't believe that's a song.
Let's do a Rocking Chair. This is probably the second newest one I wrote. Okay, let's see. Story behind this one. I guess, I would say the story behind it before I play it. I met this girl, and usually I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I knew things were going good from what she was showing on the cover, but I knew something was up. So I kind of wrote the song almost, knowing, okay, something's about to change, and I was right. I also double as a psychic.
Is that one of the first times a man was right?
Well, you haven't lived in my shoes,
no,
man. I'm right all the time, buddy. I'm right all the time. But, no, I was right, and at least I got a song out of it, I'm sure she's happy and doing good, but at least I got a song out of it, and here you go. It's called Rocking Chair. Bet you're sitting there in that old rocking chair you've had since you were a baby, comparing all the ways that you know to say, oh, I met somebody new lately. And what you gonna do when it's time for you to choose between someone else or me? And not sure what you do, but I can't speak when I'm with you. I'm a nervous wreck when it should be easy, because this highway that we're on, it really ain't so long. And if you're looking through mirrors in your car, you won't get so far. So if you're sending me signals, send them up in smoke. Oh, I'm growing weary of having so much hope. And I know your time is valuable, I know your plate is full, and I hope that you understand my mom didn't raise no fool. I'm not sure what you do, I can't speak when I'm with you. 'cause this highway that we're on, it really ain't so long. And if you're looking through mirrors in your car, you won't get so far. My past may be checkered with all the stupid things I've done, but that's what happens when you're always on the run. I can make a Christian soul turn black if you know what's wrong, but right when I met you, I knew you were the one that can hold my attention, keep me occupied, unless this voice inside my head decided he would lie. I'm not sure what you do, I can't speak when I'm with you. No, 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 'cause this highway that we're on, it really ain't so long. And if you're looking through mirrors in your car, you won't get so far. I bet you're sitting there in that same old rocking chair you've had since you were a baby, comparing all the ways that you know to say, I met somebody new lately.
Bret, what kind of advice would you give someone just before they make the decision to go, you know what, I want to go to Nashville?
Okay, good. Somebody's finally asked me my opinion about this. You know, chase your dreams. Really, I mean, be smart about it. I've seen a few people rush off with just a few years' experience. It's a big pond full of sharks out there, and you can learn a lot. You can also lose a lot. I mean, but man, anybody really thinking about going to Nashville must really, I believe, must really have that, you know, drive in them and that drive to want to succeed and be as best they can. And I say chase your dreams, but get your ducks in a row first. Don't just get up and leave. You know, really do your homework. Figure out how you're gonna do this and how you're gonna survive. You know, but man, if this is what you want to do it. You know, but don't forget it's a big pond, and everybody's there to do the same thing. So you gotta really work 10 times harder than everybody else, you know, but to those who work hard, good things will happen. You always gotta believe good things will happen, or else what else what's there to believe in, you know?
I'm gonna ask you this too. What is the worst thing that happened, and what is the best thing that happened?
About what?
Your visit there.
Dude, I never had a bad moment in Nashville. I mean, maybe, you know what, one time they lost my ticket at the airport. That sucked. But the best thing, I mean, freaking, I love it, dude. I get to drive down Music Row, and you know what, I freaking belong there. I busted my ass, and I'm a writer there, and I can say I'm published, you know. I mean, that's the big thing. You can be a songwriter, but are you a published songwriter? You know, there's a freaking 180,000 writers in Nashville, don't forget that. And every month, there's give or take another 10 to 15, 30, actually I think they're knitting about 15,000 songwriters a month, either coming, you know, 15,000 leave, 15 more come in, you know, if not more. You know, I mean, and what's good about this, I get to live in Lafayette. You get the best of both worlds. I get to stay here and get to go there and do work, and you know, but I've never had a bad moment there. I mean, I'm living my dream.
Well, I have one last question. Do you own a cowboy hat?
No. I used to. Actually, I take that back. I do. But it's at my parents' house.
Okay.
It's still too big for my head. Thank you, Mr. Bill. It's still too big for me, though.
Because, man, I got to tell you, you definitely are country. Without a doubt. Every song I hear is as country as it gets. I feel like they definitely need you.
I appreciate it.
So y'all keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for taking time to get to know my point of view.
I feel like it's needed, and I feel like people need to know there's so many musicians that live in Lafayette because they love it here, just like everybody else that lives here. But the one thing they don't understand is I feel sometimes people take musicians for granted. And I think that if they all jumped up and left one day, Lafayette would feel it. Okay? Like that's just, that's just my honest opinion sometimes.
It's true. No, it's true. I mean, they'll leave, and that's what's, I guess I'm lucky about living in Lafayette. I have a lot of friends in Nashville, and I've talked to them in the past, like, hey, should I just move here, and you know what, they need people out of state too, just as much as we do, because there's a lot of Nashville acts that need to tour and come here, and when they come in Lafayette, they call me first, I mean, Lafayette needs to keep their musicians, but yeah, I can understand if they're not, feel like they're wanted, they'll move elsewhere. I mean, that's just the
And I'm not
reality.
saying we don't, I mean, it's pretty
I've
awesome
never
here.
felt that way.
But sometimes, like, hearing some of these songs, like hearing this last song you were singing, clearly you put everything into that song because you can tell. You can feel that come from the song. But, I just, sometimes I guess you sit in those crowds and where you might not know anybody. I think Mike Dean probably, Mike Dean?
Oh,
okay.
everybody.
Mike Dean probably made the most profound statement on a stage one night in Abbeville at the barn. What's
the Red
Richard Sale Barn?
Mm-hmm.
He
No,
said,
it's the Red Barn, they call it.
okay,
I'm not sure.
okay. He made a comment. He said, we just got back on tour. He says it feels good to be here because this is home. He says it's just a very strange feeling. You might be up north somewhere out of nowhere. Nobody knows who Mike Dean is, and out of nowhere you're playing a song and you're giving it everything you got, and somebody in the back of the room says, "Free bird."
Oh God, yeah. I hate that feeling. I saw a guy on a sign once. The funniest story said, "Freebird or Margaritaville will cost you $20. He'll play it, but it's gonna cost you some money." But yeah, there's always that person in the crowd, especially as a songwriter, and you gotta politely say, "I write my own music," But it happens, And also playing out of towns when everybody looks alike, and it's nobody, you don't know anybody. That's also a little sad kind of feeling, But all right.
Bret Vidrine, the cowboy without a hat.
Hey, there you go. That's another song right there.
Bret, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you too, buddy.
Have a good day.
See y'all around.